For many cultures, this period of the year is a period of fasting or a period of repentance, of some sort of symbolical and physical cleaning, cleansing, purification. Pisces going to Aries is one of the most difficult and dangerous and unknown in terms of what the result of that would be, transitions. It's an exercise of metamorphosis, of transformation, very similar to what we saw between Virgo and Libra. But while in Virgo, it was the individual personality that had to go through different tests and to be critical to itself. Here it's the other way around. We are transitioning from being part of something extremely greater than us in Pisces, being literally lost in it, merged in it, and losing the sense of boundary between our individual egos and the situation, the big sea into which we were swimming, and now allowing ourselves to be reborn again as an individuality, summing up everything that we have ideally learned from the previous big cycle. Pisces is elusive, mysterious. It's an area where when we start putting definitions and frames and try to be Saturnian with it, try to be structured and logical with it, it's hard, is that's the absolute opposite to what we're called for here. The time of the day just before the sun rises, where it's very dark, and we need to trust the inner feeling of expectancy, which without proof, without visible proof, still knows that the new day is coming and it will be there soon. It will be starting very soon. So we shouldn't despair. There is this paradox with Pisceans of having to build the future on the past, because everything is really old in Pisces. Everything is like food or alcohol or something like this, which is already disintegrating. In all those cases where we see Piscean people struggling with the processes of fermentation in another way, either being addicted by the mesmerizing power of, this connection through alcohol, for example, or other substances, and not being able to creatively use the things to move forward with a new idea or with a new action, but rather get intoxicated. Pisces is supposed to be teaching everyone compassion and universal love, but it's very tricky to define what that really means, because one of the challenges is also to not forget that at the end of the day, you are a personality and you need to have the boundaries of Saturn. Through loving everybody, you might end up hurting the most important people that you're supposed to love. So this whole concept of unconditional love is at the same time something that Pisces could give as a gift, could teach everybody else how to do, not needing someone to be answering to particular expectations or to be doing certain things or being certain things in order for you to love them and to accept them and to help them. This is the essence of compassion and universal love, but at the same time being able to balance that with your own personal world, where there need to be boundaries, there need to be kind of a ticket of acceptance. With Pisces, we've got the transformational power of music, of sound, the other worlds into which this can transport us, but also the transformational power of silence. When we have been too active in the outside world, a Piscean period needs to come inevitably after that, so that we can take away those influences and come back to center. If we don't relinquish the past and plant the new seeds for the future, we are actually doomed to either repeat the same mistakes again, like not learning from history, not learning from the lessons of the past, or we are simply not going to guard up enough strength and enough courage to begin a new cycle. And these are things that can be applied to any situation where a transition is needed, where we are tired, where we are disappointed, disillusioned. This is the essence of the Piscean test. How do you make sense of things that feel hopeless and meaningless. Pisces requires severance, requires separation from something. And that has to be done deliberately and individually. Like, we would need to want to have done it. Otherwise, everything else feels like we become victim to something. And that's where this energy can easily lead in its negative expression to all forms of victimhood. Yes, we do suffer, and suffering is inevitable, but higher Pisces is there to teach us that there is a meaning behind suffering. And every challenge, every trial is there because we haven't seen something. We haven't yet understood something. And once we have, there would no longer be the need of that suffering, and it will naturally dissolve, it will naturally pass,